help. Super effective.
Super effective.
Fucking.
I was drinking vodka the other night, and we mixed it with this weird, my cousin's water. It's got like the sulfur taste to it. It's really bad. It's terrible.
Where does he live?
Oh,
He lives way out in past Sayo, and it's like really pungent.
Yeah.
And he made juice with it, and so they're mixing this juice that tastes a lot like sulfur with vodka. And I had a beer to chase it with because it's just so fucking bad. And it was really weird. Like, okay, so I drank this like weird sulfur water juice and chasing it with beer. And it was actually really weird because the sulfur like taste kills the vodka taste. So, which in a weird way, like sulfur is better than vodka. So I'm like that burning alcohol taste. So the sulfur kills that. And then, but you can't, like, I was holding my breath while drinking it kind of thing. So it's not so bad. It sounds a lot worse than it really was because if you hold your breath, it's just like a hint of like the sulfur taste.
Okay.
And then you chase it with beer, and this beer went really well with the juice. Like it made it kind of like this like fruity ale. So it was like this really weird, like bad, all right, pretty good taste. It was the weirdest thing I've ever fucking drank. But it was awesome.
More ingredients than you expected.
Yeah, it was like my body's like just confused. Like, what are you drinking? I'm kind of drunk. I don't remember what I'm drinking. But did the trick. That's all that matters.
the toughest one's just the first one, right?
Yeah. I went to my cousin's house yesterday. And so I show up, and I hear him kind of out back. So this is just to kind of preface the story, my cousins are all kind of, they're really pretty chill. Like, I like them at all. But they're kind of redneck people. And more so than I am by far. And
Well,
so I step out back because I hear him out there, and I walk up, and he's got this porch kind of like off this mobile home, and hanging from the porch is this big, probably has been at least like 35 pounds or 35 to 45 pounds. This animal hanging from his like the roof kind of thing, the roof line to this porch or whatever, and it has no skin on it because there's skin in this thing. I'm like, what? I came back here like hearing them talk. I expected them to be sitting around a log, drinking a beer or something like that.
Yeah.
I come out here and there's this dead skinless animal hanging from their like the rafters of like this roof thing. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, my sister hit a beaver last night. So his sister hits this beaver, and they that's cool. Like they didn't go out and deliberately kill it or anything. And so they skinned it, and they like went and tossed the body somewhere because like they hit it, and I don't know, like it must not have been good to eat. Like I've never eaten beaver. I don't really.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So okay, this kind of like plays into it, right? Because that's like only half true. But so the whole time she's like, my cousin's like skinning it, and she's like itching. I'm like, what's going on? And he looks at me and my cousin something. They kept saying stuff like this all day long, but like. He's like, oh, my sister's beaver's got a lot of fleas. And I'm just like, hold it in, don't laugh. And then like all day long, they kept saying stuff like, yeah, I had to go help my sister out with her beaver. And like, I'm like, what the fuck?
did they not ever get it?
Well, okay, it's like no one's laughing. And I'm just like, every time they say it, I'm trying to hold it in. Well, he eventually says something like, yeah, like my sister had to go help my other sister out with her beaver. And they're like, he said something like over the top. I can't remember what it was. But I finally just like couldn't hold it in, and I burst out laughing, and they all look at me like, what? Like, what's going on?
What?
And I'm like, it sounds really dirty, guys. And like, so they all kind of like I'm way more extreme than a lot of people I know. So like, I didn't expect them. Like, I thought, okay, my own mind is just going dirty with this kind of thing. So I finally laugh, break it. I'm just like, okay, you guys, it sounds really dirty.
Seriously.
So then my cousin, my cousin Brian, he's just like, really? Because I thought it was too, but I didn't say anything. He's like, when they like my sisters asked me to come do this, and like the way he worded, I'm like, oh my God, so I'm not the only one. And then my cousin that was skinning it, it's like, I kind of thought that too. I'm just like, this is hilarious. Everyone was thinking the same thing, but no one was saying it.
Why didn't anybody say it? Yeah.
I don't know, like they both didn't react to it, so I was just like, okay, I better just keep this on the inside. But that was the other thing. I think that's what it was that finally like she complained that she smelled like dead beaver or whatever. So that's what it was. She was like sitting by the TV and she goes, I'm like, what? She goes, my hands smell like beaver. I'm like, I was just like, I really wanted to be like, you playing with yourself, but I couldn't say it, you know?
Who you been hanging out with, dude?
Exactly. So it's like, at that point, that's where I finally broke. And it's just like, I have to say it, guys. It sounds so dirty and it's hilarious. But yeah, that was my yesterday. Walked up on my cousin's skin and a beaver.
Skinning the beaver.
I wanted to like make so many like, hey, your beaver's bald jokes and stuff like that. But
That's what you guys do up in the hills. You just skin your sister's beavers. Do you?
exactly.
I guess it's better than deliverance, but you know.
You're right. So yeah, and then we just got drunk, and surprisingly didn't stop skinning the beaver when we got drunk, and just hopped on the interwebs.
So, do you guys think that counts as a vagina break?
Yeah, borderline.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good... Now, I guess, yeah. I mean, it was just a... In some ways, yes. In some ways, no, I suppose.
We did talk about a lot of skinned beaver.
Yeah. It's beaver break.
A beaver. That was a beaver break.
It's not a full-on vagina vacation, but it's a definite beaver
No,
break.
those ones we go off on just the warmness and stuff. You know? We didn't talk about the details of the beaver. We just said that there was a beaver that was being mistaken for another beaver
Yeah. No
by
hair.
perverted people.
Though we did dive into some cousin love in there, so.
What?
You can't not around these parts.
To be fair, John Bender was there, so.
Nothing. Anything goes when he's around. Just
Uh,
be ready for anything to happen.
Probably like, John, do you get the joke? Yeah, but I don't know what's the legal age of beaver is, you know? It's like, no.
well, was wondering though, is my cousin, she hit the beaver with her car, and she lives out in the country, so you know you're going fast on those roads. I could see she broke her radiator like when she hit it. I can see hitting the animal breaking the radiator, but it was a beaver. Like when I saw the thing, it wasn't like that tall. Like, how do you break your radiator? Like, how does it's not like they can. I don't imagine they can jump. Like, how do they get into your radiator? I don't know, but
Guess
somehow.
it could have broke the bottom part of it.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of car she drives, but it can't be that low. But true, maybe she just clipped the bottom of it. I don't know. It just doesn't seem.
Fucking little animals, man.
Yeah.
And she stopped and picked it up, or
I don't know. Well, she busted it good enough that she had to call a tow truck, and
oh,
So-
that.
I fucking hate them. Raccoons, especially. Fuck raccoons.
Oh yeah, we actually saw deer on the way here.
I
Yeah.
told them to get the fuck off the road.
Yeah.
It's not cool, man.
They were in the road, and we slowed down and yelled at
If
them.
that thing jumps through my window, I only got liability. I'm fucked. I hate it. Raccoons, they fucked up my bumper. I hate raccoons. I hate possums I just hate how they look.
yeah, they look like demons.
But I hate fucking rabbits. You know jackrabbits?
Rabbit.
They're fucking mean, dude. I hate them.
Dude, the deer around here though, I borrowed my mom's car. She has a brand new car, relatively new, and I had to drive out here one night, and so I'm driving out here. I always kind of hyphen say I've only collided with one deer, and I don't say I hit a deer because of the story. I was driving out here and I see two deer in the middle of the road. Slam my brakes on my car. The wheels slide a little bit because it's a little bit rainy out, and come to a stop. One deer that was in my headlights books it. The deer that was to my my left, kind of was all confused. Then all of a sudden just looks up at me after I've come to a stop, a big loud screeching stop. He looks up at me after a couple seconds of confusion, notices me, and then runs into the side of the fucking car.
Wow.
Dents the door, this is a small dent, but it's still a brand new kind of car. Home, Mom, a deer, I didn't hit a deer, a deer hit me.
Yeah.
And so she seemed a little suspicious. What? You hit a deer? Come on. I'm no. Look at this. It's on the side of your door. There's no unless if
I was stopped.
yeah. And I think she's I couldn't figure out her confusion. There's blatantly obviously I didn't hit a deer. I think she thought maybe I was fooling around, pulled the e-brake and drifted into a deer or something. But I'm like,
that is hard to explain.
Something deer shaped.
Yeah, so I was like, Mom, if I was gonna say like, if I was trying to like cover up like me like drifting in your car, like I would have come up with a different thing, like something viable, but not a deer ran into the side of me. But like, I was like, no, like seriously.
So just like stumbled into it like a fucking drunk.
I wish he stumbled into it. It was more like,
That makes sense. It just has no idea what's going on. I'm gonna charge you in a direction.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, who didn't like just stumble into it? He fucking nailed me. Like,
Yeah.
he just like, it was like he didn't understand what was going on, like some big weird noise,
Yeah.
and then he just all of a sudden like, oh shit, that's a car with a guy on it, and it just like runs into the side of me. Like, I mean, like he fell on his side. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck? And he just gets up, walks off, or runs off. And I'm just like, shit.
You just hit me.
Why? Like, you made a mountain out of a molehill here. Like, fucking deer. So yeah, I have a little hate passion for the deer.
And there's nothing you could have done. You did the best. You completely stopped.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what am I supposed to do?
You should have gotten out and challenged it.
I guess
Yeah,
you could
right?
have.
Got out, grabbed its horn, snapped his neck, and like made a little dinner out of it at least.
Fucking duel.
Then it would have ran into you.
You should have gotten out and like
Asked him for his insurance at least.
take
Pull
him
out a
down.
sword. On guard.
Just, I mean, after he hits you, chase that fucker down. Like, kill it. Like, it's not gonna, you know. Pay
He's
you to
dangerous
put it
though. He
down.
lives life on the edge.
Yeah.
You gotta sell his body.
If he accidentally did that to my car, though, what would he like purposely do to me? I would hate to come back like, Mom, I got 2 pieces of bad news. Your car is. I'll start off with like the least bad part, and like your car's been hit by a deer. Like if that's like the second bad news, what's the first? Like I got deer raped. I chased him down, and he made a man out of me.
It was a long, escalating story.
I need you to call the doctor.
I gotta get checked for deer AIDS.
Is it okay to joke about deer AIDS?
I don't know. Has it been long enough? And then possums, like back when I was young, like like the beginnings of World of Warcraft. I remember me and my cousin were sitting there on the computer playing Warcraft, and my grandpa just walks into my cousin's place. He's like, "Hey, I got something to show you." We're like, "What, okay." He's like, "It's in the back of my truck." We're like, "Okay, what the fuck's in the back of your truck?" So we're just like sitting there like playing World of Warcraft and hop outside, you know, to see what's going on. He's got a trash can in the back of his truck. We're like, "What's in the trash can?" He pulls it out of the back of his truck, like sets it on the ground, and he opens it up. And there's this rabid, evil-looking, gigantic possum sitting there, like glaring, hissing, whatever the fuck they do. I kind of vaguely
Still
remember.
alive?
Yeah, still alive. And it's just sitting there, like, I'm gonna fuck you guys up if I can get out of this trash can. And like, so like, but we're like not expecting this. So he lifts the cover off, and we're like, whoa! We like jump back, like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I caught him this morning. Like, what? He's like, yeah, I caught this possum this morning. So we're just like sitting there joining the game. All of a sudden we come out and there's this thing that wants to kill us all sitting in this trash can. And we're like, Grandpa, this is fucking crazy.
It's like, Grandpa, I don't think you understand what kids enjoy. Like, maybe back in your day, that was like Christmas morning, but to me, like, this is nothing but bad news.
He's like, pretty cool, huh? I'm like, yeah, I guess. But he posts pictures on Facebook all the time. And he's like, half the time, he's got some weird animal. Like, he's got a baby coyote as a kid. And he's got this one, like, he's got probably 20 pictures of him holding these, like, gnarly possums out. And he's just holding them by the tail, like, upside down. We're like, Grandpa, this thing, if you hold it like 2 inches closer to your chest, it'll tear your face off. But he's just such a badass. He is just like, no, I got him. Like, he just catches possums. It's almost like a hobby. Like, found this guy out in the garden.
Hopefully he doesn't turn into like the next Steve Irwin or something, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, remember Grandpa, he always loved those possums, but they did not love him in actuality.
Take a possum to the chest. Well, you saw my grandpa. Like, he has, all of his sleeves are just like, kind of like cut-offs, like, you know, jean shorts, how they have that little like cut-off look. All of his shirts, he's got the sleeves cut off because he's got such huge arms. Like, my grandpa is ripped. He could whoop like all of us right now. He could whoop our ass just like 1 versus 3. He's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he just like hunts just with his own hands.
Yeah, like, I mean, like he used to deer hunt with bows and stuff, but it takes some, I don't know, it takes some balls or it takes some stupidness, but he's not too stupid. Like, it takes some balls to catch a possum by the tail.
Grandpa, this is not a fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, right?
This is not something we need to catch.
It's like,
You
I
kids-
caught a possum on.
You kids love all these creatures. You're always catching them. Look,
Don't make me pull out my Pikachu.
I don't understand your beep boops. Let's go out and do this in real life. What do you say, kids?
Get off the computer, go catch a possum.
Yeah.
Grabs a python.
Oh man.
Fuck you guys.
I think he used to catch rattlesnakes for like he used to
Oh shit.
get their venom and sell it to like the vet or whatever, whoever needs it. I don't know who needs it, but
People who go out and
yeah. Well, they make
trenches of the rattlesnake.
well they make any venom out of it, but like
Yeah.
he used to be the one to go catch them.
Yeah.
He's like the king of odd jobs. Like you like walk past a tree. He's like, see that moss up there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I used to collect that for a living. Like, what the hell? I've heard he used to steal power lines for money. Well, that's pretty badass. That's as like extreme as you can get, though. I think.
Like active power lines.
Yeah, they were active too. I don't know how you steal active power lines, but apparently, if you need some drug money, that's the way to do it.
We never thought about setting up a security or locking them to anything, and we figured if somebody touches them, they'd be electrocuted.
No one's gonna notice if we steal the active ones. Like they're not gonna be looking at those ones. Like,
Yeah.
well, if the power goes out, I might call it PGE, Grandpa. But no, I guess it works. He never got caught. I don't think he got caught.
There's a lot of value to fresh copper.
He shows up, just this truck full of just power line. Dude, this is good stuff. Where'd you get this? Oh man, I found it in my barn.
This is fresh.
He just puts on some rubber gloves and gets a boomerang and just whoosh, cuts it and starts spooling it around his arm.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
So you're either fucked up or you're hardcore. Most likely fucked up.
It can be both. There's no reason we can't have
You got to be hardcore to be fucked up. I think about all these tweakers and they're having kids in their bloodline. If they were weak, there wouldn't be any tweakers.
Yeah, right.
But look how many there are.
Yeah.
They must be the dominant, bloodline.
Okay, not to go completely sideways here, off tangent, but
Let's do that.
You guys have your favorite Pokemon, right? If you're gonna play Pokemon game, you got that one guy. If you're gonna ride him the whole time, who's that guy?
Kadabra.
All right.
That's not a bad choice, but there's a lot of like close like seconds and thirds, but easily Haunter.
Yeah. I'm not really sure with mine. I don't know.
I'm getting Haunter tattooed to me. So.
Who do you always put in your party, no matter which playthrough?
I don't know. I always have a Haunter, and whoever I started out with, I just ride them for like the first 5 badges, and
Yeah.
I don't know. After that, it kind of depends on, like, if I catch one of the legendary birds.
Yeah, I was gonna say the legendaries are like almost an easy one to go with because I do love Mewtwo, and then like my second place Pokemon easily is Zapdos, but like that's a legendary, so like they already like kind of get that nudge towards like the first place. So the fact that Haunter, a non-legendary, beats out all the other ones to me is like, okay, I can say I love Haunter even in spite of the fact that he's not legendary.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I hear that a lot where people are always just like, oh, just throw all the legendaries in your party and you're good to go. But for me, I always play it a little bit differently. Like most of the time, like the first 6 or first about kind of 6 I catch, I just go with.
Yeah.
Because I level them up past any wild guys I could catch.
Yeah.
So I rarely switch them out. I only do it if like way later on there's like some gym, like it's a dragon gym, and I'm like, nothing I have is strong against dragon. I had to go back and find some ice guy and then grind him up.
Yeah.
Well, it's difficult too, like because I like to get one of every kind of type. Except for like I always leave colorless out 'cause they're always kind of boring to me. But
Yeah.
What is?
the colorless or normals or whatever.
Oh, normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never use those.
Yeah, like so, like to me, it's like a hard choice between all my favorite. Like I try and go like, what's my starter, and I usually like, I kind of like Squirtle. It's tough. Like
It's almost too easy to go with him, though.
well, like Bulbasaur is cool. I really like him. He's like probably one of the top 10, but he's not a contender for like my favorite. It's like between Squirtle and Charmander. It's like I usually choose Squirtle because I like Charmander, but I could try and do one of every kind. So it's like I want to, like I don't know why, but I like Ponyta and Rapidash. So I try and like go with Ponyta for like my fire, and then Haunter's my psychic, and then my water will be Squirtle. I'm also weird with like Squirtle. I'll like keep him as like Squirtle until I get bored with him, and then I'll finally like one day like okay, finally I'll move to War Turtle. And after a little while, I get bored with War Turtle, and then I move to Blastoise, and then I'm like a little irritated, like, now I want to go back. But like, so that's like my
Some shit
water.
gets real. He gets
yeah.
cannons and
Yeah. But I don't know. So like those are like I
always
try and keep one of every kind.
I always have to get a Gyarados too. Like I can't, sit there and use Splash.
Yeah, right. But then like there's other ones I like Beedrill a lot, and then but they kind of change them. Like now there's too many types. Like you can't like keep one of every type, and Beedrill's more like a bug than he used to be grass because there's only like 6 kinds for the most part. There was like a little bit of branches, but I don't know.
I think he was always bug flying.
Yeah, well, like they didn't used to have he was like a flying, but like I don't think they had bug. Did they always have bug?
Yeah. The only new types they ever added was dark and steel.
Was it really that simple? It's been too long, but yeah, I don't know. Like he just always seemed like too weak to everything, and like I've always said like Scyther. Like I love the shit out of him, but like because any like bug with like machetes on his arm should be able to annihilate everything. But he was like a colorless, or he was like a normal, and like all of his stuff was like boring, like furry cutter and like cut and stuff. Like it was always so like lame. Like
In the first
he
game,
sounds
he
deadly,
didn't have
but
a good moveset, yeah.
yeah. So it's like, oh, fine. Like I like the way you look, but I'm not gonna use you because you're boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I play through, I always have to like dedicate each things to like enough HMs to get me through the game, which is really annoying. I have to have a flying type, I have to have a water type, and then I have my starter. So that's like 3 taken up right there.
Yeah.
And then I always, no matter what version, somehow it always gives you an Abra somehow.
Yeah.
And Psychic is strong against
Everything.
every type,
Yeah.
weak against Bug.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's only one bug move. And I
Yeah.
also teach that. I'm doing a playthrough of, I think, Silver right now. And I got the Electric Sheep one. And I taught him some kind of like bug beam move. So now I can kill psychic types.
Nice.
But yeah, it's always a hassle just having enough like just HM slaves so I can be like, okay, I need to smash a rock. Okay, I need to use flash. I need to use a whirlpool. There's something really stupid.
It was always like so bad that like for the most part, like there's a couple that they have to dedicate to other Pokemon, but I'd almost have like 5 Pokemon, and then my 6th one was always just like HM. Like he just like had 4 HMs, and he was just a utility Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well, that's when it gets good at the end. You can like pick up some stronger Pokemon like a Machamp or something, which is going to be way better than your slave Geodude.
Yeah.
Level 6 Mount Moon or whatever.
It like the game changes once you get to Elite Four, because then you don't have to have the utility Pokemon, and you can really like focus on like making a party of 6 instead. Like I had like 3 or 4 Pokemon that I use like quite a bit, but there's always be this one Pokemon like I know I'm on the way to the fire gym, so I'm just gonna go swim around in the water, catch some like Tentacool or something I fucking hate, level them up to a ridiculous level just to beat that one gym. Like I have them just one shot everything, and I just like never use them again. Like
Yeah, you always just have like just one jobber in the back. Just like, I got my team of 5, and then I have the rotating whatever I need guy.
yeah, and I put it so hard that it's like I'd have one, like, let's say I can go into the fire gym to go fight Blaine or whatever. I have that, like, Tentacruel, and at that point, like, it's just, like, everyone else is just there to, like, take some hits while I, like, use Revive on him, and then potion him or something. Then he's back out there till he dies, and then I revive him and potion or something, But...
Yep. Just
I-
going to say that exact thing.
yeah, I just exploit, like, to no end. Even as a kid, like, before I even knew what exploit necessarily meant, I was just like, I'm just going to cheat without even thinking it's cheating, but I don't know. I do love those games. I kind of want to go back through and play Pokemon Red and Blue for sure. I've been thinking about going back through and just playing a bunch of old, like, Game Boy Advance RPGs, and maybe some, like, Super Nintendo ones. Like, I want to play old RPGs again.
Yeah.
I miss everything about them. Like I was watching something on YouTube, and they made some show series into like a old RPG style. Like they told the story through an RPG, and like just the old like 8-bit music like sound and the old like feel. Like it gives me the goosebumps. It could be something completely new that's like someone just made, but like that whole vibe, I just love it.
Yeah.
Nothing better than those old school games bringing back the good old little kid memories.
All right. So those are our Pokemon, but Pokemon's not exact. It's so close to, at least for me, but it's not real life. Not quite. So
Oh, I live it. It's real life to me.
Once 3D printers can do like living stuff, we're gonna have Pokemon everywhere.
Dude, that's so weird because I was literally like less than an hour ago looking up real life Pokemon, It is one of the funnest Google searches you can ever do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because someone there's one site I follow and on Facebook, and they constantly like announce the new mega evolutions for the Pokemon, which I do get really irritated with that they're changing the good old classic Pokemon, but that's something I could care less about. Anyways, they keep announcing like new mega evolution. They'll post a picture of it. Well, they said new mega evolution for Blastoids, and it's just a turtle with 2 cannons taped to his back, like a real life turtle. So like, but he's at the angle perfectly. I'm like, I'm gonna Photoshop this. I need to get a Pokemon like picture like of an animal from the back that looks like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I googled real life Pokemon and I found some. Can't remember what I found. I think it was like a cat that looks like Pikachu, but it's from the back. Because I already knew about the cat that looks like Pikachu, but I had to find that picture from the back, and I surprisingly found like a whole bunch of them. So now I'm gonna like Photoshop it and make them look like they're battling. But I can't wait to release that. It'll probably be later tonight. But I can't wait. But like just looking, like I had to go through these pages and pages of Pokemon that look real life, and there's so many fucking hilarious ones. There's like a picture of a frog with a bunch of like lettuce like glued to his back or taped to his back, like it looks like Bulbasaur. This is amazing. There's so many awesome ones. Or there's this really creepy one of like this like ripped like Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of like dude, but he's got 4 arms and he's painted all blue, and like he looks like Machamp, and it's like creepy as fuck, but it's hilarious.
I don't think I've seen those, but I've seen like the computer generated ones where people try to make them.
Yeah.
And I've also seen ones where it's called like Pokemon Combiner, where
Yeah.
you pick 2 and it combines them.
Yeah.
And basically, if you combine anything with a Machoke, it's just hilarious because it just has like whatever stupid Pokemon head and then just a buff body. Like it had like a
Nice.
Poliwag and it had no arms, just buff legs. It had like a Diglett and it had like a big buff body and like a tiny little head and everything.
Dude, I saw someone like there was I can't remember all of them, but there was a picture of Geodude, and it was just like someone photoshopped it to look brown, like had like the brown Geodude look to it, but it was Voldemort's head with ripped arms like stuck to where his ears would be, and it looked amazing. That was one of the ones that stood out. There's only a few that were just like, there was a lot of pretty funny ones, but there's a few that are just like, oh my god, you guys did this perfectly.
Yeah.
One of the best Google searches by far. Go Google real life Pokemon. You won't be disappointed.
All right, so since we have established that, although we would love it, but Pokemon is not quite real life.
Not quite.
All right.
It's getting
What
there.
real life animal would you want to always have by your side to like protect you and fight other animals?
So real life, not Pokemon.
Is it intelligent or is it just like as intelligent as it can be in real life?
Just real life. And you gotta feed it and stuff.
Do I
Mine's-
have to train it?
You don't necessarily have. Let's just say that you have the ability to make this animal do what
Kind of like
an
Ash.
average trainer can make them do,
Okay.
like an Ash to a Pokemon kind of trainer.
All right.
I'll be a little bitch and I'll say a fox because I'm addicted to what did the fox say, and now I like really like. I want him like Pikachu is all like Pika, like I want to know what the fox would say. I'd be like, speak. Your answers are mine.
I don't really have one off the bat. Like I was gonna say like a wolf because wolves are like cool, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes me sound like a stupid person in high school to say.
Well, you are wearing a wolf on your shirt right now, howling at the moon. So
Well, there's 3 of them, so that's a little bit different. Somebody on the internet told me it was a cool shirt.
yes, I want one so bad. I need to go do some more Goodwill shopping.
But the most useful animal would probably be maybe something that can fly.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like falconry. You can like get birds to do hunting and stuff.
Yeah, falcons are really fast and they're probably
Yeah.
pretty strong too, right?
Yeah, they're fucking crazy.
Train it to go get you things.
And
Well-
I just found out about that, and I was.
What about? I really want a real life Pokemon though. So can I say
I
like
know.
I would have
Yeah.
a cat with that electrical tape and like an extension cord too, with like the ends all wire stripped off of it.
What?
With the ends like electrical cord with the ends like I plug into the wall and like strip all the ends off of it, so that way like I can be like tackle, and when it tackles you, it shocks the fuck out of you. Probably
Full
itself
tackle.
as well, but
Yeah, a tiger with a car battery strapped to the
right.
back.
And everyone's like, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like, "It's my Pikachu." And they're- like if they question me, I'll just be like, "Tackle."
Yeah.
Like you can't question the guy with a
Do you
cat
think
with
it's
a battery.
cool? Well, no, it looks stupid. Get him.
And you know, with the way battery technology is, like, it's not that far off. Like,
That's
eventually,
true.
we'll
A
be
solar technology effect.
there. Yeah, solar powered
You
Pikachu.
can get the moonlight. Shock the shit out of a dude.
Solar beam has a whole new power, a whole new meaning to it.
Yeah.
Show.
Because in the game, it's like Venusaur is storing energy, and the next turn he releases all of his solar beam
Yeah.
power on you. Like Pikachu, like I could be like solar beam Pikachu and just give it like 5 minutes to sit in the sun.
And then have like a solar powered laser on it or something.
Dude, you know what? When you started talking about a cat or whatever, though, I was thinking you were gonna say that one that you can make pay you money.
Meow.
Because I would
Oh,
fucking do it.
Payday, yeah.
I do want to be like real life Team Rocket. Well, why, we should do that. We should just go start stealing people's animals and sell them on Craigslist.
I would, like, if I had it now, I'd shake it up in the morning, just be like, payday, bitch, like, work it over.
I have like this dream now though, like
What my job would be.
Well, I think that already is a thing, Mike.
yeah, but I want to like take it to the next level. Like I want to paint like Team Rocket on the side of a big black van in red letters, and you know just go around dog napping animals and selling them on Craigslist.
Oh my god.
Why can't I remember the name for that? What's it called when
Poaching?
people, yeah, poaching. Yeah. You're basically a poaching outfit that's called Team Rocket.
That's so.
And every time like we sell an animal, like drop it off in the van and like burn out, and they're like Team Rocket blasting off again and just take off.
Yeah.
Arrange dog fights and stuff. Gamble. Oh my
Everything.
And your goal is always to steal the rarest animal. You got to go to the rainforest and be like, we need the toucan.
Yes.
We need to sell this tiger.
But talking about like a flying, like having a falcon reminds me of the conversation I had the other day. We were talking about RC helicopter, and then my buddy brought up that he has a buddy who has like a $4.5 grand RC helicopter, but it's like the size. It's big. It's probably 4 or 5 feet long, kind of thing. And we're like talking about like because my cousin has a baby. Somehow we like tied it into like, could you take your baby for a helicopter ride? Like, could the baby ride the helicopter? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm sure it could easily lift a baby. I'm like, well, could you ride it to work? And then they brought up that like it's not big enough to really like hold the person. I'm like, well, what if you're a midget? What are the rules on like flying a helicopter to work? Like, if it's just an RC helicopter, like with like the I don't know, whatever flight administration like gets on top of those things, like would they like call the cops? And like, what would you do if you're just like riding a helicopter to work, but it's an RC helicopter?
That's really true because there's obviously laws about bicycles and mopeds and cars and every other kind of motorized vehicle.
Yeah.
What are the laws for transporting yourself in an RC helicopter?
property owners own up to a certain foot above their house. So you got to be above that. And then from there, it's pretty much like you're free to roam. People will hook helium balloons up to lawn chairs and just cruise.
Yeah. So it's like,
Freaking crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
I
like,
guess
I know
there's
if
no
you-
law against hot air balloons, is there? You can just do that free as you want.
well, like there's got to be like some kind of like some size limit, like because at a certain point, like you can't just fly through the air in a jet, like
True,
like you have to
yeah.
go. But then we're talking like but then when you're flying an RC helicopter, obviously you're not breaking any laws.
Yeah.
So like if you're under the size limit, can you ride your own helicopter to work?
What if you're a private pilot? Do you have to get a flight plan and a license? Like, say you could realistically fly your private plane to work. Could you do that without any trouble? Or would you have to, like, put in a flight plan and follow some law or something?
Yeah, you're right. I don't know, but I really wonder if you're a midget, could you get away flying the smallest possible helicopter that could lift you to work?
Yeah. Or even if you're, like an underage midget, like you're some 14-year-old doing it, is that
Yeah.
legal? I mean, you don't need
Yeah, you
a
don't
flying license.
Like I don't got a license, but who says you need one at this point?
Yeah.
Like
You
because
gotta-
it's just an RC helicopter. If you're sitting in there in the helicopter like seat and you have an RC controller in your hand, you're still just flying an RC helicopter.
I don't think you're breaking any laws. I mean, it's not against the law for you to stand in a park and do it.
Yeah.
It's not against the law for you to travel through the air, I don't think.
Yeah.
And you combine the two, you know?
Yeah. So like, what's the definition of jumping really, really far? Like, so
I'm gonna be so happy when it's like 15-year-olds are doing that just to test the cops. Like, there's no laws against this. What are you gonna do?
That's a good question to ask
like,
a cop.
That's
yeah.
gonna be like the next big thing. Like, there's gonna be infomercials like, "This is your brain. This is your brain on RC helicopters."
Splat. This is dangerous. Do not. They become licensed. You have to like wait 3 days to like buy an RC helicopter, like a gun or
yeah.
something.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I imagine like right now it's not really a problem, like because no one like has either stumbled upon it or it's too hard to do or something. But like, I could see like after this podcast, like this like outbreak of midgets flying themselves to work now, and like they have to like pass some laws, like new legislation to stop midget crashes, and
You know what? You should look at California laws because, all right,
Yeah.
Oregon has like 3 laws with bikes. Like you have to have lights on at night or something like that. You have to be going in the same direction as the flow of traffic. That's about it. But in California, there's like all these like specific laws.
Yeah.
Like you cannot put this size of motor on your bike. You cannot put a chain behind a car and have it tow you. You cannot like all these things that like all these crazy
get every little
people down there did
stipulation,
so
yeah.
many times that they had to make specific laws.
Yeah.
Legislation. Like it's so funny.
Yeah. Well, other countries that don't have so much of a car infrastructure and a lot of more people ride bikes, they take riding bikes like a lot more seriously. You have to like take a test and get a license, and if you're caught like riding with 2 people on a bike, it's like a serious like jail time crime, and if you're caught like intoxicated, then it's like a big deal.
yeah.
Did you guys ever see that video of those people crossing the Golden Gate Bridge on a couch with wheels on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are they doing that?
They were being towed by like a LeBaron or something hilarious.
Oh, I don't know if I saw
some
that one.
Shit car.
I've seen a couple couches turned into cars though, and like they're completely legal, but
No, these people put a couch like on just rollers.
nice.
And hooked some ropes up. The thing that's crazy is I don't know if I'm remembering this right, but I'm pretty sure that the ropes fucking broke, and they were just like stuck on the Golden Gate Bridge, like just out on an island on this couch, and they're like their friends are gone, and then cops all just chasing them down, and they're just like, do you even know how fucked up this is? Like you guys could have died, so like you could have ruined other people's lives. Like this is the stupidest fucking thing.
I'd be like,
It was
live life on the edge,
greatest
bitches.
greatest reaction. It was so funny, but
Ugh.
it's worth looking up if you haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
I've
You
seen
have to.
a lot of videos of people towing couches in the snow, like on a sled or skis.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, the rope always breaks, or sometimes they are just holding onto the rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That never works out.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
One time when I was up in Woodburn at my friend's house, we walked across town to do something, and it was snowing super hard. Like there was the most snow that we get in Oregon around here. So one thing that they like to do, they call it skitching. They just grab on the backs of cars while it's snowing. Well, the car doesn't know, and they just go as far as
Skitch a
they
ride,
can.
yeah.
Yeah, just on their feet in the ice. And for some reason, while we're on the way walking there, we found 2 houses with couches out in the front yard, and they're like right across from each other. So we hauled the couches into the road, so they're just blocking just both lanes.
We used to take sleds in the snow, and we'd grab onto the 4-wheeler and ride around on that when it was snow, but we never did anything too crazy. But yeah, I've heard of people skitching. You can do like, I've heard people doing it with like rollerblades and other shit like that on like when it's not snowing, but
Yeah.
I'm not that crazy.
The laws in California, man.
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of crazy how people can combine 2 legal things to make an illegal thing.
Yeah.
Like we were trying to figure out about whether flying the helicopter was legal or not. I was thinking like, well, I mean, it's legal to have somebody pay you money to do a job, right?
Yeah,
That's totally legal.
yeah,
And it's legal to have sex with somebody, right?
yep.
Well, you combine those 2 and it becomes a crime.
Yeah, or like, I mean, it's like completely legal to own a cat. It's completely legal to own an extension cord, but it's probably illegal to tape it to a cat and strip the ends off of it and have it fight other cats.
Yeah,
That's stretching.
probably. Or like,
It's like owning fire and owning a bomb.
Hey, that's a good idea. What kind of animal can you set on fire that wouldn't kill the animal?
Every animal. No animal.
I can't think of an animal.
I thought it was opposite day.
I want to get a lizard and like kind of put like a little torch thing on his tail. And, yeah, we'll get a little Bic lighter and tape it to a lizard
I
tail.
just want sharks with freaking laser beams on their freaking heads, okay? God.
I think we're onto something. I'm gonna tape a lighter to an iguana's tail.
Or
Just
match.
give it a dairy.
What's that?
Just
Give it a
give it a dairy. Get that cotton dirty.
I saw another one. I can't remember what it was now, but they just had another magnificent one of like this. I can't remember what it was now.
Somehow
Completely
give it a
random.
prosthetic tail and then put like a little candle on it.
Yeah, just give it like a fake tail. Like just put like a little tail sleeve over it.
Yeah. But
One
don't
that, like, will
don't
pay
they
off.
grow their tails back? Don't they fall off?
Yeah,
or
we don't
something?
need their tail anyways.
They just chop the end off and then glue like a little candle on it so it burns for a good amount.
Yeah. That's what.
So go Charmander.
You're gonna feel bad next week when you see something like local man was arrested for lighting his iguana's tail on fire. Like,
Yeah.
oh, why did I tell Mike that? I should have known he's gonna go and do that.
Insane man trying to relive childhood fantasies.
If only like cases could be judged by the majority, so much shit like that would just go. Like instead of putting it up against some judge or something, it could just be like a guy did a thing to a lizard trying to make it a Charmander. And if you put that in court, all the old people would be like, this is animal cruelty, this is animal abuse, of course, the harshest sentence. But if you like, somehow all cases were judged by just majority vote across America, everyone just be like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, everyone 20 to 25 said that was pretty sweet. They're not gonna punish him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, sure, that kind of sucked, but at least he tried.
Yeah.
We can support that.
Like, we can see what he's doing. He's not malicious.
Yeah. He was just experimenting. Like, sure, it didn't go right, and he, cooked his lizard, but
Like that one guy who's like been in jail for like a year for making a Facebook comment about do you see that guy? Some guy said something about some game and he said like, oh yeah, like I'm really gonna like go do a school shooting. I'm so mad.
yeah, something over League of Legends.
Yeah.
There's another kid who just got like expelled for waiting for the bus stop, and he was in his own yard like shooting an airsoft gun. And I haven't looked into it honestly, so I don't know how much of it true. And I heard a lot of outrage from it, but still, shit like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. If you like put it to like a majority vote across the nation, everyone just be like, no, throw
Yeah.
it away.
Yeah, and so just the select few who get to prosecute him, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I could see a lot of people like, yeah, he tried. He failed. He says it went on fire, but he tried. You set any animals on fire lately?
Not that I know of.
Have you shaved any beavers lately?
Unfortunately, no. In every sense of the meaning of those that phrase.
I don't know what you mean. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily want to shave one. I want a shaved one, but I don't want to shave a beaver.
You know what? If that's as much contact as I'm getting, so be it.
You got to get there somehow.
Yeah, that's so close, so much closer than I am right here this moment. Like, it's amazing how much closer it is. Hey, you guys. Okay, so Critical Splits. They used to ask a lot of these gay questions that always resulted in gay answers, like about Halo or
All right.
about like bro love or something. So, do you guys want to rehash some of those questions and try and redeem what little value
Well,
they once had?
To be fair, like, I mean, we've had a lot of vagina breaks, and it's like, I wouldn't mind, taking a break from that and talking about some boners, because there's so much funner to talk about than vaginas. Like,
Wait, who you
do a remix of some critical hits questions, you mean?
Yeah, like, let's do Shakedown here. Let's think. Okay, so one that I was thinking of is, what's your favorite music track from a game and why? And don't say Halo because of Jesus, alright?
dang it, that was my answer. I was going to say Halo, and literally because Jesus, but,
Jesus told me so. Holy Lordy, Lord.
well, we started that Halo religion, and, my favorite soundtrack, but mine is like, I am such a fanboy that I almost repeat. I'm like the Halo guy, but I'm Halo for Nintendo. Like, I literally like once a week. I don't know. I would actually say, I guess my answer is gonna be somewhat surprising, but still obvious. I would almost say Mario, because my mom hates the Mario tune, because I used to play so much Mario back in the day. That's all she remembers hearing. And so I do love the Mario tune. Like, give me goosebumps to this day whenever I hear it. But
Level 1-1, you mean?
yeah, just that tune. Well, I mean, I like it all, but 1-1 for sure. But honestly, I don't listen to that like once a week. I do go back, and there's like this kind of like he does like a quick like maybe 1 minute demo of all the old Pokemon Red, like classic Red and Blue songs, but just as like 1 minute, because for the most part they kind of start repeating themselves after a minute.
They're
anyways.
loops, yeah.
Yeah, they loop. So, but he does like maybe like 1 minute for like every song, and it ends up being like a 45-minute track though. But I listen to that once a week when I'm like doing some like gamer art or something like that. So probably the Pokemon soundtrack.
That's true. It's a good one.
Did you ask favorite soundtrack or song?
Either way, man. I mean, we can go as into it as you want. Just general discussion about music in video games.
All right.
Because I think we can dominate whatever Critical Splits had to shit out.
Oh, I know we can. I have like, it's hard for me to choose
Yeah.
just one. I immediately, right when you said that, like top 5 popped in my mind, and that's not even without thinking. There's probably one beyond that.
Yeah.
Games with amazing music. I definitely agree. First generation of Pokemon. But one that comes in above that, I think, is Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like I might have already said that on this podcast. Maybe not. But that's the first game that I actually went out and bought the soundtrack for. Because before that, I was always just like, oh yeah, video games, they have good music. Like, this is great music. But Banjo-Kazooie is like, I want this on a CD.
Yeah,
like,
I actually have to agree with
listen to
that
this.
because I haven't listened to a lot of old game music, but there has a few I have. But and Banjo-Kazooie is actually one of the few I have looked at, like specifically one on YouTube and listened to. So
Yeah, Grant Kirkhope, especially the last level, Click Clock Woods.
yeah, I love Click Clock Woods.
That's my favorite song.
That's so weird because that's the song that's going through my head right now. Is the
That's the best one in the whole game.
Yeah, but
Another really good one is Earthbound. I could listen to the soundtrack of that game all day, and a bunch of remixes of it and everything.
well, Laven just went through and posted the SimCity like an orchestra playing. So it wasn't like the SimCity actual music, but like part of it really is nostalgia. Like just hearing those old noises brings back the memories connected to it. But I do love the old SimCity music, and I mean I probably would fall in love with any old music in general, but I did have to say the other one I've looked up would be Animal Crossing, and like I didn't know that the music changed every hour on that, and so like there's like 24 songs plus one for every hour plus like walking in the post office music. There's Nook Stores music.
Then there's
and,
like a rainy day version.
yeah. So I do love the Animal Crossing music as well, but not as much. So that's why it's like there's plenty you can name off. I'm not a huge Final Fantasy fan. I was like just a different direction, but like I could list off a million Zelda songs as well. Like everyone would probably go for Zelda right off the bat, but I'm trying to think what do I actually sit down and listen to every the most, and so that's why I went with Pokemon on that one. But what would yours be?
Well, I'm not sure. The couple I can think of are real generic. I mean, GoldenEye was really cool.
Yeah, that's the
I
same.
have to say it was really fucking cool.
As soon as you bring up these games, like instantly Banjo-Kazooie's out of my head now, and now I'm listening to the Facility level 2 on James Bond, like the music going through my head when I'm.
Or the song on the boat where it's like, because I listened to an interview once with Grant Kirkhope, who did a lot of the music for a lot of those Rare games, and he listens to like a lot of just pop music and everything, and he explained how like he just like made all the songs and everything and worked real hard. He's like, yeah, this is taken from like a Devo song, and this is taken from like this other song and everything.
Yeah. What is it like? Rare used to be such a fantastic company. What happened to them? They're not like terrible or anything, but Microsoft bought them out, and they're just not the same.
Yeah. I don't know other soundtracks, so I think maybe. Do you guys know that Rush racing game, Rush 2049? I just have to throw that out there. My buddy knows the guy.
I know
who
Rush.
My buddy actually knows the guy who wrote that music.
I can't remember. I
So,
thought they just
nice.
use actual. Well, like all the new Rush games, don't they use like actual like songs, like pop songs and stuff?
Probably, but this was the original from
Okay.
like, Nintendo 64.
Okay,
days,
so-
I've seen that game a lot, but I've never played it, so I know exactly what you're talking about
yeah.
as far as what game it is.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember the soundtrack to it. I probably
It was
hadn't
an alright
played too
game.
much Rush before. Like I do love Rush, like but the last Rush, or probably the only Rush game I probably played was Xbox, maybe Xbox 360. So it was a good game. I just never really got into it, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's like whatever. I just think it's interesting. It's a cool soundtrack. It really is if you listen to it. But yeah, my buddy knows him. And he's just always talking about like, oh, I know this guy. He sends him his music, and the guy critiques it for him and stuff.
Nice.
Pretty cool guy.
That's cool. I think What are you gonna say?
Well, it's gonna bring up another one just because I played it too much, and that is Dune, and I always have to say it, but it's actually got an alright soundtrack.
It's weird. There's
What?
certain things I can remember. I can't remember a lot of soundtracks to a lot of games.
Yeah, it's true. I'm having a little bit of trouble to recall them, so I'm just like the ones that I always play all the time. Like, I won't play a game if it's got a bad soundtrack, it would seem. I don't know.
I think that is a really big, not consciously, but
It
if
is
a game has
underrated
a
and
good
important.
soundtrack, that shoots it way up. Like, it can't
Yeah.
be a masterpiece to me without having a good soundtrack.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. It's a detail you wouldn't necessarily notice, but if it's gone, you'll notice it for sure.
Yeah, well, I don't really notice it if it's gone. I'm just like, that game was okay.
Yeah.
And if it has a kick-ass soundtrack, I'm just like, this game is awesome, and also the soundtrack is awesome.
It's like you
know?
notice it last, but it's like after your mind is blown, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Was this like? Would you notice it if it was gone in Pokemon? But I think you might be like games that you play a lot, like for a long time, doing like grinding on Pokemon or something. Like it gets kind of boring and monotonous. So if you don't have music to it, it's almost just like everything's silent, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is really weird. Like you
Or
need.
just something super simple,
Some stupid song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I've been watching walkthroughs of old shitty NES games just to see how these people like play through the bad coding and glitches. Like
Yeah.
they're like, okay, well, like Rocky and Bullwinkle, like you have to switch to Bullwinkle because Rocky can't climb upstairs. And then like there's this one part where you're supposed to land on this obvious thing that's like right there, but really if you land there you're gonna fall through. So you're supposed to land on the air next to it and shit. Like horrible coding, and the music is just fucking terrible. Like, and they can just go down the list. Like, the coding is bad. Everything is bad about this game.
Yeah. That's why I've been watching some speed runs and like because I was trying to look some ideas for a Banjo-Kazooie tattoo because that's a hard one to come up with a great idea for. But so I wanted to like relive the whole game, like think like, oh, I completely forgot about that. So I rewatched the whole thing, and the glitches are like kind of like I'm like, oh, how the fuck would you ever find that out? But you have a million people playing it, someone's gonna stumble upon it. What amazes me is the little details they take to do these speed runs. Like Banjo-Kazooie, he spends 90% of the time on Kazooie's legs because Kazooie runs faster than Banjo.
Yeah.
And they're speed runs, so they're all going for like the world record fastest. So it's kind of like the little details is where I get surprised at like they micromanage every little thing in the game to do as fast as they can.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing.
And the speedruns that I don't like are the super glitch ones, like where they find the game breaking
Because almost
glitch.
ruins it.
Where they spend 20 minutes of setup setting up a glitch that warps you to the end of the game or gets you like a level 100 or something. And it's so boring of them just like doing all this stuff, like checking the thing 100 times and going up and down and all this stuff. And it's like, ba-ding, okay, now. And then it's just them going through the game at level 100.
Like I still like appreciate like okay, I understand you're trying to break world record here, but there's a difference between a goal and being entertaining. Like
Yeah, like look how fast he freaking flipped and jumped perfectly across that thing,
yeah, like I don't mind watching you go through the game as fast as you can, but when your glitch is kind of like as long as like there's like certain things that are an exploit. Like I don't mind you like. There's a part in the Banjo-Kazooie, I only saw a couple of glitches in the one he did, but there's this window on the boat level, and he did this weird little thing where he kind of like wiggled through and like just jumped through a window, and it like probably skipped like maybe 1 minute of like walking around this edge or like battling a few enemies.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind that because he didn't like cut out a lot of the game.
Yeah,
But when
stuff
you
like that is cool.
Yeah, when you skip like multiple levels, it's like now I'm not watching the game. I'm just watching like I want to watch it. I want to watch you play the game. And if you have a couple exploits to like speed it up, that's fine. But if you're skipping levels, pointless.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was just like, because the thing is like they had to play the game. At least they've probably beaten it. At least 50 times, if not like probably 200 or 300 times to like be able to know exactly where to do this and exactly like because this Banjo-Kazooie is an old like when 3D was kind of relatively new, so they had a bunch of bad camera settings where like you can't see your character because the camera's behind a wall that you're on the other side of the wall kind of thing. So it's really annoying. But this guy jumps up and does all these things without even seeing his character. Like, how do you how?
Yeah.
You played this way too many times, and like I still appreciate the fact that you're uploading this, but I can't quite wrap my mind around how like you don't get bored of the game after you've beaten it like 100+ times. But teach your own.
Some people's kids are just like that.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to songs way. My brother hates it. I mean, I'll listen to a song 1.5 million times, and he's like, I don't understand how you can do it. So I guess it's like that. Like, it just doesn't get old to them. I can kind of see it, but a song is one thing. A game is like 2.5 to like 5 hours, and on a speed run, like how I don't know, but
Even watching Pulp Fiction that many times in a row.
I know. But that you have to watch that movie a couple times. Like I still like. That's what I love about the movie. I'll still watch it today. I'm like.
Is that too mainstream?
Like I'll rewatch it. I'm like, oh, I've seen this movie 10 times. I finally get that scene because that one came here instead of there. And
Yeah. I have a really hard time. Like, for me, I would rather consume more media than just, like, watch the greats multiple times.
yeah.
And a lot of people are the other way around. They're just
I'm
like-
the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, like, most people I meet are just like, why do you download 100 movies? Why do you try to play every single game? Like, there's only 5 good movies. Just watch those.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I don't know. I'll just watch, like, if it's the coolest movie ever, I'll watch it one time and move on. If it's the dumbest movie ever, I'll watch it one time and move on. You know?
Yeah. Well, like that's like me and my versus my little bro. Like he's the kind of guy who will listen to 1 million different songs. I'm the kind of guy who will listen to the same like 5 bands over and over. But he's like, he doesn't understand my point of view. I can see his point of view. It's not for me. But at the same time, like when I got you sitting back there, like listening to every single thing that's ever been released, and then like this is like a good one. Like if you listen to it twice, I know you kind of like it because you don't listen to anything twice.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll just wait for you to listen to something twice, and then I'll like give it a shot. Like I don't need to experience 1 million things when you're already going to feed me the good stuff anyways, and I'd rather spend my time liking instead of finding. So, but I do understand both sides of the coin. I just find something I like and exploit it and listen to it and watch it and use it until it's completely lost all meaning to me whatsoever, and then I'll try and hopefully find something else after that.
Yeah. Just be a real fan of it.
Yeah.
What do you do, Ian? Do you do either of those, or do you do a third thing?
What?
Do you listen to a song 20 times, or do you listen to 20 different bands?
Oh man.
Is it quantity or quality?
Well, it's always about finding a balance because
He's a middleman.
it it really is.
Yeah.
I won't cross certain lines, but I'll always go back in time, and pretty much what happens is I'll have like 30 bands or types of whatever music or something I'll listen to, and as time progresses I'll drop some off and I'll add some on. Sometimes I'll go back to past
Yeah.
interests and I'll bring them back into the mix, but
Yeah.
I can only really retain so much music in my head anyway, so
I do love I love finding a new band. It's just not like something that happens that often, but something that has to get old, and then I'll go like hopefully discover something new. But like I'll try.
yeah.
Maybe I'll like listen to a new band, but I'll like try and give them like, because sometimes there's that one breakout song where I can listen to the whole CD and not really like most of it, and I'll like find this one song and I'll like listen to that, and I'll get kind of bored and listen to some other stuff. And I end up loving the whole CD, but I had to find that breakout song for them. So like I'll try and give a band like the whole like album a listen, and I just get kind of bored with it before I can get to the end. I'm like, I just want to go back to what I love, and it ends up ruining it or something. So I like to find a new band. It's just rare.
It is, dude. Yeah, I don't know, Jack, if you have any problems, but I know I have problems finding new bands.
Kind of. I'm constantly finding new stuff. Like I'm at the point where I will just like listen to an album one time, and I'm just like, I don't have time to listen to it again. I got like a inbox full of new things I found. Like I'm not super efficient at, moving through them, but I have more than enough stuff to work through, and it is at the point where I'm just like, just the opposite of some people. Just like I listened to the album one time, all right, that was an enjoyment. Like I'll put it in the collection, maybe never to listen to it again.
Yeah, that's funny that you say you don't have time to, because like I say the same thing, but it's the opposite way. Like I don't have time to listen to all this new stuff when I already have stuff I like. So like I don't have time to test things. I want to go with what I know I like until it is burnout. But I think it's just like the same thing. It's just somewhere in life your brain just decides that it likes new stuff, or it likes what it knows it likes, kind of thing,
And like most real good music is an acquired taste anyway, so even if you don't like it today, it doesn't, like I am guilty of, I fucking hate this band. What the fuck? They're
Yeah.
so stupid. And then like 3 weeks later, after I've like started to actually look at the perspective that the band's trying to, do, like I'm like, all right, they're pretty fucking cool. Whatever.
Yeah, I do that
So-
too sometimes. Like I'll listen to it, and for me, it's like I don't necessarily think it sucks. Sometimes I do, but I won't understand it.
Yeah.
Like I'll listen to it, and I'm like, I do not understand what's going on. Like, why did they do this? Why can anybody like this? Like, I need to understand this for some reason. And
Yeah.
I'll keep going. I'm like, all right, I get it.
I know. Or like I get in like moods. Like I'll just wake up one morning and like I'm so random. Like the other morning I was listening to the Cars and the Steve Miller Band, and like the next morning it'll be like a Green Day, and like a week later it'll be I'm just gonna listen to Johnny Cash all day long. But and they're all like a lot different than each other, but it just a little bit of everything, I guess. But it's never.
Classics.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I mean, sometimes it's classic, but other times there's some new bands. Like I'll just go on this binge of someone I know named the Front Bottoms. I listen to their music a shit ton. And I'll like listen to this other guy, Brad Sucks, which is like some new age stuff. But so it's just like it's very different from each other, though.
And you know what? Like, I don't want to sound like a music bitch or a sound bitch or anything like that, but seriously, some bands only sound good if you have like low end.
I know. I agree. Like
Yeah.
You've got to have some good bass, otherwise you miss out on a lot of like Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
If you do not have, if you're listening to Fu Manchu in a car with no low end,
Or on your laptop,
you're
yeah.
really not listening. You're not having much fun listening to Fu Manchu.
well, like
Even if their songs are really fucking cool too. So
well, not just that too, but like low end, like low quality, almost like the best
Yeah.
best example of a band for me for like that is good old Green Day. Like their new shit, I really don't like it at all. Their like medium stuff it still is good. Like it's actually some of their like their Dookie and like or even like just their international super hits. It has all like the beginning of it has some of their super old stuff, but for the most part that's most their like middle of the timeline for them kind of stuff. It's all pretty good, but to me I love their like first and second CD that sounds like it's like just recorded in a garage. I love that like that cheap garage
Fire or
rock.
whatever.
Yeah, some
It's-
bands do that great.
Yeah, I love the or like who did you say just now?
Lo-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's his
cause
style or whatever.
like there's this band you probably know them because you know a lot more bands than I do, but this band AFI, like their new stuff is just this just shitty emo, bitchy, whiny kind of punk. Like it's not like the right kind. Like it's not even punk. Like it's just kind of like emo rock or something like
Yeah.
that. So I was listening to like some punk stuff on Pandora because I don't really know all the punk bands. And I was just trying to get some names. And I'm like, this song is awesome. Who the fuck is this? I go look, it's AFI. I'm like, this band I absolutely hate is making good music. I went back and like 20 years ago, they were making awesome, like low key, like punk music. And it's like, once they lose that, it like they're trash to me. But like this band I hate used to make amazing music to me. And so it's just kind of funny. Some tastes change or their direction changes or something. But
Yeah, I think a lot of times when they do that, they really throw away what they had. Because yeah, a ton of bands do that for me. There's a lot of bands where I can only take the first album, and then after that, they're like, "We're successful. Let's do it. Let's go to the studio. Let's have a guy write our songs for us. Let's do all this stuff." And it's like, no,
yeah,
you don't understand. That doesn't make you better. Like
I don't necessarily know what it is. Like
people
part
like
of it
you
is,
for what you did.
Yeah, like part of it's like you can tell it's coming from the heart, like when it's like that. But that's not the only thing. It just sounds so much more good. Or like AC/DC. Like I heard like the first time I heard Thunderstruck was like their live version. I'm like, this is awesome. And then like I heard their like non-live version of Thunderstruck. I'm like, holy shit! Like that was the first band I ever heard that like they're better live than in studio. Like why would they even do studio stuff? And so after that I started realizing, but I do love some bands. Some bands suck live too, but they're better in the studio. But man, some bands just are so much better live or grungy and not like fine-tuned and polished.
Just raw.
Yeah, raw is the right word for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's that time, guys.
Getting that
It
time.
really is. It sucks.
What time is it?
It's announcements and vaginas and whatever time. It's time to.
Oh, it is.
It's shoving off time.
All right. Who's got announcements?
Yeah. Who's got announcements tonight?
I know. I already announced the Beavers, so
I'd like to announce that tomorrow is the anniversary of the invention of the computer. 100 years ago today, the computer was invented in Russia because it's so cold up there, and the chips back then were so slow, but they had to overclock it and cool it down so slow just to get it to just be a basic calculator.
Snap. Really?
Yeah.
Damn. I learned something today.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's actually fucking me. I love like weird technology things like that. So
Do you like fake technology things?
I love everything technology, but Pokemon still takes number one. So
All right. Pokemon wouldn't exist today if it wasn't for Vladimir
Russian slow computer.
Chekhov.
Check the job, that motherfucker.
that's true, sadly.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything useful to tell our audience. There's just not a whole lot of audience
we're pretty
that I'm shooting for right now. I hope people in the future, our future audience,
You can give yourself a reminder.
hey, once there's like more than 3 people listening to this, hey, you out there going into our past, learning about what we were doing back when we sucked.
This is a pretty good episode, right?
We're gonna try and begin later. That's the news we have for you.
That would be kind of like if we get on like podcast 100 someday, and I'm like, what the fuck? We were talking about like skin and beavers back on episode 3.
We talked about that for a half hour, guys. What the hell, man? How did we think we were gonna get away with that back then?
Why did we ever think we'd be successful talking about beavers and possums?
Whatever is, you know what? Whatever gets the jollies going.
That's true.
Just, you know, the jollies are rolling.
It's
It's just that's what life's about.
it's super effective against comedy. Or I guess against a bad time.
Yeah, there you go. We're super effective against the bad
The
time.
good times roll.
Roll it.
Everybody.